Good evening, Chairperson Dr. Jones, Vice Chair Rigby, and members of our County Council. Tonight, I'm honored to present my proposed fiscal 2027 capital and operating budgets for Howard County. This presentation is a reflection of our values, our priorities, and our shared belief in what Howard County can and should be. This is also my final budget as your Howard County executive on the 20th anniversary of when I was first sworn in as an elected official in this very room. During the past 8 years, we have worked together to make meaningful progress for our residents by strengthening our schools, improving public safety, expanding opportunity, protecting our environment, and building a community where people at every stage of life can thrive. And we have done so with purpose. This budget is about people. It's about protecting those in our care. It's about being good stewards of the taxpayer dollar. It's about fostering a community where everyone can thrive. Our carefully crafted $432.6 million FY27 capital budget provides critical resources for education, community facilities, public safety, flood control, infrastructure maintenance, transportation, and more. These are investments that residents will see, feel, and rely upon every day. They are safer streets, stronger schools, flood protection for families and businesses, cleaner energy, and spaces where communities come together. An acknowledgement of significant infrastructure needs across our county and improving debt indicators attributed to several years of fiscal discipline. The proposed budget includes general obligation bonds of $120.7 million to support these critical investments. The capital plan also maximizes $79.1 million in one-time pay-as-you-go funds, as well as low-interest loans, grants, and other designated sources. This approach reflects our continued commitment to responsible government by controlling debt service levels, diversifying funding streams, and ensuring taxpayers see the greatest possible return on every dollar invested. Building on this comprehensive capital plan, tonight I'm also pleased to release our FY27 operating budget. This budget provides critical ongoing support for public safety, public education, our healthcare system, housing opportunities, our nonprofit service providers, and more. Most importantly, we do all of this without raising property or income taxes on our residents or businesses. My total proposed FY27 operating budget of $2.5 billion represents a 6.6% increase from our FY26 budget, and the general fund, which supports most governmental services, totals $1.7 billion with a 6.8% growth from FY26. This relatively strong growth is primarily attributable to increases in certain revenues, including capital gains. While the overall fiscal outlook has improved from 1 year ago, federal uncertainty continues to loom, and many future impacts are still yet to be felt. We will continue to closely monitor federal and state actions and exercise fiscal prudence because progress is not measured by how much we spend, but how wisely we invest. And in Howard County, we remain committed to progress with purpose. If there is one place where progress must begin, it is with education. Because when we invest in education, we are investing in futures. We're investing in the child walking into kindergarten for the first time, the student discovering a career path at Howard Community College, the single parent returning to school to build a better life, and the resident who finds connection, learning, and opportunity at their local library branch. Our collective commitment to these institutions ensures that residents can access quality facilities and services that promote lifelong learning, from our schools and libraries to our community colleges and beyond. Progress begins at our schools. For the 5th consecutive year, I am proposing that we fully fund the Board of Education's capital funding request. Funding this year includes $98.6 million from the county, which is the highest local funding in more than 25 years and exceeds last year's funding by nearly 50%. Total capital funding for the school system reaches $116.6 million in FY27. In a tight fiscal year, our team worked closely with Superintendent Barnes, Chair Mallow, and the entire Board of Education because we knew our top priority had to remain clear: protecting the strength of our unparalleled public education system. Since taking office in December of 2018, we have increased operating support to our school system by more than $280 million. That has equated to an increase in per-pupil spending of more than 50%, which is more than $5,000 per student, more per student in local funding since I took office. With this support, we have made significant progress implementing the blueprint for Maryland's future by raising starting teacher salaries, expanding pre-K, bolstering support for career and technical education, and dramatically increasing funding for special education. However, our progress doesn't stop there. Earlier today, I joined Superintendent Barnes, Chair Mallow, and several members of our Board of Education to announce our plans to fully fund the Board of Education's FY27 operating budget request through a combination of county funding and school system funds. County funding will total $871.5 million, which represents an unprecedented increase of $57 million, or 7% growth in recurring funding to our school system. This budget reflects the highest annual growth in Howard County funding to the school system in Howard County's history. With this support, county funding exceeds the state-mandated maintenance of effort by $60.8 million. Our local investment funds 99.3% of the Board of Education's operating request, demonstrating our strong commitment to stretch resources to support the Board of Education's priorities. In close collaboration with Superintendent Barnes and the BOE, the school system will work to cover the remaining 0.7%, or $6.2 million, through a collaborative approach that includes use of unassigned fund balance and internal saving strategies identified by the Superintendent and Board of Education. Combined with state, federal, and other funding sources, the total school system budget reaches a historic $1.3 billion in FY27. This is how we are making progress with purpose and ensuring our students, our educators, receive the support they need and deserve. Progress also continues at Howard Community College because opportunity should not end at high school graduation. HCC is where new careers begin, skills are strengthened, and second chances become real possibilities. My proposed budget fully funds both HCC's capital and operating requests. The proposed capital funding includes $3 million to address deferred maintenance and other systemic renovation needs, It also advances the construction of the new Kathy and Danny Bell Workforce Development and Trade Center, an investment that will strengthen our workforce pipeline and connect more residents to meaningful careers. The $1.4 million operating budget increase to HCC will continue to provide support for higher education and career pathways, ensuring our college can meet students where they dream. And dreaming extends beyond our schools because lifelong learning is not something that is only achieved in the classroom. Our libraries remain one of the most powerful and accessible investments we can make. They are places where imagination extends beyond words on a page, while also being places of learning, connection, job searching, early childhood development, and lifelong learning. Following the County Council's bipartisan approval of legislation in December of 2025 to advance the library system's new Central Library branch at the Columbia Lakefront, I am proposing $7.5 million in anticipated state and federal grant funding to continue concept plan and land acquisition efforts for the new Central Library, representing our shared commitment to community, accessibility, and lifelong learning. My FY27 proposed budget also increases operating funding to the library system by $1.7 million, reflecting a 6.2% increase from FY26. This significant increase, the highest in county history, will fully cover the collective bargaining agreement between the library system and the Howard County Library Workers United to ensure that all library employees keep their jobs, including our 55 on-call shelver positions. You can clap if you want, Councilmember Young. Because progress with purpose means making sure every resident, regardless of age or income, has access to the tools they need to learn, to grow, to thrive. Progress with purpose also means making sure every resident is safe and feels safe at home, at school, on our streets, and in moments of crisis. While we still have work to do, we have made significant progress over the last 8 years, and we will continue to prioritize our Department of Fire and Rescue Services, Police Department, and all of our public safety partners who serve and protect our community every day. This proposed budget includes $8.5 million in infrastructure investments for fire and rescue that will go towards important initiatives, including Fire Station 15 land acquisition for Station 16 and funding for the design to transform the former State Armory building into Department of Fire and Rescue Services' new headquarters. Our Department of Fire and Rescue Services is also set to receive $168.9 million in the Fire Fund, reflecting an increase of $5.6 million that supports staffing and equipment to ensure effective emergency response. Additionally, we're bolstering preventative support for our older adults and communities with high demand on emergency services through funding for the Mobile Integrated Community Health, or MICH, program. This work helps us meet residents where they are by bringing care, prevention, and support directly into our neighborhoods. Keeping our community safe also means providing our police department with the tools they need to respond quickly, effectively, and with greater community engagement. The Howard County Police Department will receive an operating increase of $9.3 million to support our ongoing staffing needs and services that will increase community engagement and systemic enhancements. The capital budget includes $600,000 for public safety system enhancements to support the police department's computer-aided dispatch system, real-time information center, and other public safety hardware applications. Because strong public safety begins with strong people, and we must continue investing in the people who protect our residents every day. Public safety also extends beyond first response. It includes our courts, our correctional system, and our sheriff's office. We are investing in these three key agencies in this budget to ensure continued safety at every aspect. Because progress with purpose means protecting our neighborhoods and the entire system that residents rely upon for safety, accountability, and justice. Progress with purpose also means creating spaces where people can gather, connect, and build community, because strong communities are built through spaces. Spaces where older adults find friendship, where young people discover opportunity, where families come together, and where neighbors feel they belong. That is why, in my proposed capital budget, we include investments in the buildings and facilities that bring people together and strengthen the fabric of Howard County. Progress is being made with a $34.4 million investment for the new Elkridge Community and 50-plus Center located in the Elkridge Civic District. Construction for this new facility is scheduled to commence this year. This center will be a true community hub for generations of Elkridge residents. In addition, last month we announced the first ever county-owned ice rink at Meadowbrook Athletic Complex in Ellicott City. An investment of $3.5 million will support schematic design for a facility that will offer year-round recreational and competitive opportunities for ice enthusiasts and creates new opportunities for recreation, wellness, and connection for residents of all ages. Also included in my proposed capital budget is funding for Phase 2 of the Capitol Line Center in Ellicott City, which will advance the planned relocation of our successful roving radish program, shared kitchen space, and exterior renovations and site work to the historic courthouse complex. This investment supports community health and food access, along with the continued revitalization of a treasured historic space. Moreover, we are taking a giant leap forward with our agricultural community by investing $3.1 million to start construction on the county's agricultural center at West Friendship Park. This facility will be a vibrant hub that enriches the local community and elevates the importance of agriculture in Howard County. Because progress with purpose means building places that reflect who we are while also creating spaces where every resident can gather, grow, and thrive. Progress with purpose also means protecting the places people call home. For our Ellicott City residents and businesses, flooding is personal. It means memories lost, businesses damaged, and families forced to rebuild again and again. Following the recent devastating 2011, 2016, and 2018 floods in historic Ellicott City, we made a promise that we would not simply recover, but we would rebuild stronger. Through my Ellicott City Safe and Sound plan, we have made major progress toward addressing flooding in the Tiber-Hudson watershed. In just the last year, we completed construction of the H4 pond, continued construction on the North Tunnel, and began design for the T1 pond. This is real progress that residents can see, and more importantly, progress that residents can trust. My FY27 capital budget includes $37.2 million in state grants and low-interest loans to continue the work we've begun with Ellicott City Safe and Sound, because effective flood mitigation provides peace of mind. It's protecting homes, preserving Main Street, and ensuring future generations never have to relive the devastation of the past. We must also move with purpose and prepare for the future we know is coming. During my last years as your county executive, we have made tremendous progress in energy independence and climate leadership because environmental responsibility and fiscal responsibility can and should go hand in hand. My proposed capital budget includes $7.9 million for energy management improvements to promote energy independence and efficiency in alignment with our Climate Forward Climate Action and Resiliency Plan. Additionally, my proposed FY27 budget also allocates $14 million toward the construction of community solar projects on county properties, including one solar array on a former landfill and 4 new solar carports over parking lots. The electricity generated by these solar arrays will have a tremendous return on investment to low and moderate income households who can purchase energy at a 25% or greater discount off average utility rates. To support long-term sustainability measures, my operating budget establishes the Clean Energy and Community Sustainability Fund for lasting operations and maintenance of county-owned solar projects, as well as the initiation, promotion, and management of other renewable energy, climate mitigation, and resiliency efforts on county properties and within our greater community. Additionally, we're allocating $240,000 in one-time funds to support one-time costs for various sustainability and energy independence initiatives consistent with the county's Climate Forward Plan, including replacement of gas-powered landscaping equipment. Now, since 2019, we have planted more than 150,000 trees. These efforts support our ambitious goal of attaining 50% tree canopy cover countywide by 2030. We continue our historic efforts to plant trees and grow forest canopy countywide with $520,000 in one-time funding to support tree planting and giveaway and other environmental preservation projects. At the same time, we invest in forest quality and strategies to protect native ecosystems with $350,000 for the Department of Recreation and Parks to support hazardous tree removal. We continue to support our agricultural sector. An additional investment of $100,000 in the Agricultural Innovation and Expansion Grants Program brings our total investment to $200,000 in FY27, and this budget also allows for the Farmers Circle, a county-wide educational initiative to strengthen farm visibility and awareness. That means cleaner energy, lower utility costs, and a stronger, more sustainable future for our residents because climate leadership is good policy and it improves everyday life. Another example of making everyday life better is through our transportation efforts, impacting safety, accessibility, economic opportunity, and quality of life for all. That's why my proposed budget continues to make strategic investments in safer streets, stronger infrastructure, and better connections across our region. To continue our efforts, my proposed capital budget includes $12.5 million to support the ongoing pedestrian master plan, bicycle master plan, and complete streets policy. Additionally, my proposed capital budget allocates $2 million to support the design and construction of our Flash Bus Rapid Transit expansion to link Montgomery County and Howard County along US 29. This investment strengthens regional connectivity and creates more reliable transportation options for residents who depend on public transit every single day. Furthermore, we continue investing in reliable infrastructure with more than $10 million dedicated toward road resurfacing. And sometimes progress looks exciting, and sometimes it looks like fewer potholes, which I know we can all appreciate. We also continue to expand our transportation options and infrastructure to make getting around easier, and more pleasant for everyone. We allocate $157,000 in operating to extend the existing RTA Route 409 bus service along the U.S. Route 1 corridor from Ellicott City to Lansdowne, which will provide a more direct connection to MTA MARC service at Halethorpe. Because progress with purpose means building a county where getting from one opportunity to the next is easier. Our parks are some of the most visible examples of Howard County's quality of life, and we must invest in them with purpose. Our parks are world-renowned for their accessibility, amenities, and beautiful landscape. And our Department of Recreation and Parks maintains some of the most beautiful parks in our entire nation. That is why I'm proposing $16.4 million in capital funding for ongoing projects such as parkland acquisition, aging infrastructure repairs, and site improvements, because preserving great parks is about preserving our community. This also includes $3 million for the construction of the public gardens at Longwood, the property in Glenwood. This space will serve as a communal property that will provide residents with a beautiful, reflective, and sustainable place, a place to gather, a place to recharge, and maybe for some of us, a place to finally prove that we can keep a plant alive. This proposed budget also helps ensure every resident has the opportunity to live a healthy, fulfilling life, and health is about access. Health is about prevention. Health is about mental health. Health is about emergency care and making sure support is there before a crisis becomes a catastrophe. That's why our FY27 budget prioritizes community health for all residents. In my final operating budget, we allocate $5 million in one-time funds to support the third and final year's investment for our hospital's observation unit expansion. This funding fully fulfills and completes our $15 million commitment to our one and only community hospital, the Johns Hopkins Howard County Medical Center. During the past 8 years, we have allocated nearly $24 million to support systemic changes, expand capacity, and improve healthcare services at our hospital. We have also contributed significant funds to better support behavioral and mental health services across our county. And in FY27, I propose we commit an additional $200,000 to the 24/7 Grassroots Mobile Crisis Team, which responds to psychiatric emergencies and mental health crises. Additionally, this operating budget makes key health investments for families, pregnant women, and young people. Approximately $3.1 million of opioid restitution funds will be added in this operating budget to further our efforts to address the harms of the opioid crisis. This is an $800,000 increase above the FY26 budget that helps create 2 additional peer recovery specialists in the Howard County Health Department. It supports Shepherd Pratt's Residential Treatment Center, and it expands programming at Highland House, Howard County's only halfway house for pregnant women. One-time funds of $691,000 are proposed to be directed to the Health Department to boost the maternal and infant health program, support the Community Health Worker Pilot Program, and expand school-based wellness programs. Progress with a purpose means investing in health before people are forced to ask for help, and making sure that when they do, help is there. Affordable housing remains a critical need across our country, and Howard County is no exception. That's why we're prioritizing strategic investments that increase affordable home ownership and rental opportunities. To meet our goal to promote affordability, This proposed budget allocates more than $10 million to home ownership initiatives, housing rehabilitation, affordable housing, and homelessness prevention programs. Sometimes the most important investment government can make is helping someone keep the front door they already have. Additionally, we will transfer $2 million in funding from DHCD's Community Renewal Fund to the FY27 capital budget for the construction of the new non-congregate shelter. This shelter is a key goal of Howard County's The Path Toward Zero, our new 5-year plan to end homelessness. This plan represents dignity, safety, and a pathway forward. In January of 2026, we announced our new LIVE initiative to address and reduce landlord-tenant issues. Under LIVE, we are dedicating $165,000 to the Department of Inspections, Licenses, and Permits to reinstate partial year funding for an electrical position and add a rental housing inspector position. We will also include funding for a position in the Office of Consumer Protection to support landlord-tenant affairs and expand arbitration efforts. Because progress with a purpose means ensuring that home is not a privilege reserved for the few, but a foundation upon which every resident can build. Given our stark federal and state impacts, we continue to absorb. In my FY27 operating budget, we prioritize programs and initiatives that grow businesses, create jobs, and support our economy. By investing in economic and workforce development, we can strengthen individual opportunity, grow our commercial tax base, and support continued fiscal sustainability. This proposed budget allocates $1.1 million in one-time funds to the Howard County Economic Development Authority for programs such as the Gateway Innovation Fund to provide matching capital to private investment, the Activation for Community Transformation Loan Fund to reduce commercial vacancies, and the Main Street Revitalization Program to provide small capital improvement grants to local businesses on Ellicott City and Elkridge Main Streets. These investments help turn empty storefronts into thriving businesses and ideas into jobs. In addition to business development initiatives, we are also investing more in our county workforce to help residents gain meaningful employment and chart new pathways for the future. In my proposed FY27 operating budget, we include funding for an apprenticeship coordinator position that was previously funded through the American Rescue Plan Act, or ARPA funds, as well as a position to support career counseling and other workforce services in the Office of Workforce Development. Furthermore, we are directing $250,000 in one-time funds for emerging workforce development initiatives not covered by grant programs, including continued workforce support for impacted federal workers. Developing the workforce for the future means investing in our young people today. Our proposed budget also includes $350,000 to expand the Summer Youth Employment Program to 360 students, providing workforce opportunities for students with an emphasis on students who are economically disadvantaged or navigating a significant barrier, because sometimes that first summer job can become the first step toward a lifetime career. We are also moving purposefully to ensure government works not just responsibly, but effectively. When good government works well, people may not always notice, but they absolutely can feel the difference. That's why in my proposed budget, we continue our efforts to strengthen service delivery, improve efficiency, and ensure county government remains responsive, reliable, and fiscally responsible. In FY27, the Office of Central Services, including mail and fleet services, will be organized within the Department of General Services, promoting streamlined operations and stronger coordination across county government. To further save the county money, we are putting $3 million toward a voluntary separation incentive program that will generate future budget savings and help position our government for long-term sustainability. This budget also includes $510,000 in one-time state-mandated funds for the purchase of election poll books and ballot devices, covering the first of a 3-year commitment that is expected to exceed $2 million. Now, trust in government begins with trust in institutions, and few institutions are more important than free, fair, and secure elections. Now, my proposed FY27 operating budget was prepared amid continued federal budget uncertainty and global conflicts impacting prices. At the same time, Howard County continues to absorb increased cost shifted from our great state. In FY27 alone, these cost shifts amount to $7.4 million in new expenses. This $7.4 million increase builds upon nearly $9.3 million in state costs shifted to Howard County during the FY26 budget process. Collectively, across FY26 and 27, Howard County will have absorbed more than $16.7 million in new costs from the state and our local budget in just these 2 fiscal years. Despite ongoing challenges at the federal and state level that bring unanticipated impacts and shifts to our local budget, we have crafted a balanced plan that focuses on our shared priorities and prepares for the uncertainty ahead. This budget includes $1.5 million in one-time funds to be able to respond to unanticipated federal impacts and emerging needs that arise in the year ahead. Because preparation is not pessimism, it is responsible leadership. Despite these challenges, Howard County, once again, received a AAA rating from all 3 credit agencies this year. And when other jurisdictions have lost their ratings, we have continued to rank among the top 2% of counties nationwide to receive this score. It is a testament to our sound financial planning, strategy, and discipline. As this budget is reviewed, I would like to thank our residents, community organizations, and the County Council for the input shared throughout this budget process. I'm especially grateful for the hard-working employees who maintain essential services and address the needs of our residents. I also want to thank my entire team, including Budget Director Dr. Holly Sun, for their partnership in developing a responsible and balanced budget that advances a thriving community for all. And as I present my final budget as your Howard County Executive, I'm deeply proud of what we've accomplished together during these last 8 years. Together we have worked to make Howard County the very best place to live, work, play, grow, and thrive for all. That is a legacy of progress with purpose, and that is the future that we continue building together. We look forward to your consideration on this proposed budget, and I thank you for your time and your partnership.
Thank you, Dr. Ball, for the presentation. I want to congratulate you on your 20-year anniversary of being sworn in. I actually have to say 20-plus years because of your work before you were elected in Oakland Mills and the Young Dems in Howard County in Maryland. So thank you for your service. Colleagues, any questions or comments? Yes, let's give them a round of applause. Any questions or comments from my colleagues?
Just appreciation.
Thank you. Thank you, Chairperson, Madam Vice Chair, council colleagues. I appreciate all four of you being here for this presentation and this culmination of the start of our final budget together. Have a great evening.